diagnosis was a complete shock to me and my family.
You hear the word heart failure, you immediately associate it with heart attack, like you're going to die. I was very worried, I was frightened, I was upset because I thought I was healthy.
I had pains in my chest and I was feeling weak. I knew something was wrong and I had a cough that wouldn't go away.
Persistent cough or getting out of breath doing things that you were able to do would require further investigations.
I started getting breathless. I made a lot of excuses. It's okay, I'm a little fat, I'm a little heavy, maybe that's why I'm getting older.
If you spot the symptoms in yourselves or your family members, please contact your GP immediately.
Just because you have a condition doesn't mean your life is come to an end.
I was diagnosed with lung cancer, age 77. I'm now 85 years old, living proof that you can survive cancer.
Well, I'm going to continue looking after myself and I'm going to continue doing all the things that I wanted to do. I will get to the point when I can play with my children on the floor. It'll take time, but it will come.
Finding conditions early, such as lung disease, including cancer, and heart disease, makes them more treatable. So, if you spot the symptoms in yourselves or your family members, please contact your GP immediately. Don't ignore it.
Okay, hi, welcome to the Lifestyle Show with me, Anthony Jordan. You just saw a feature there with Annette B from Gospel Explosion showing a bit about Nehemiah House. But great work's going on there, so congratulations to you all. I hope you guys didn't turn away during the adverts, because the last advert was very important and it's linked to my next guest. It's a very important campaign that's going on at the moment. Hopefully you've seen some of the billboards. I have, and funny enough, I didn't realise what it was until I'm here joined by Dr Phillip Abiola, who's going to be telling us more about the Be Clear on Cancer campaign. Dr Phillip, how are you doing, sir?
Very well. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. Very well, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time here. So please, can you tell us a bit more about Public Health's campaign on Be Clear on Cancer?
This particular campaign is targeted towards early diagnosis of lung cancer, or lung disease, and heart disease. And it's particularly aimed at people who are having persistent cough or getting breathless, because we know persistent cough, especially cough more than 3 weeks, could be a sign of a serious lung disease, which could be cancer. It does not necessarily mean it to be cancer, but it could be. But there are other serious lung diseases. So we are saying to people, if you're getting breathless, unusually breathless, or you're having a cough that is lasting more than 3 weeks, then it is better to check it out, because it could be a symptom of lung cancer, it could be a symptom of lung disease, it could be a symptom of heart disease. So we're saying to people, don't stay at home, don't ignore it. Early diagnosis could make a lot of difference. So that is the aim of this particular campaign.
Okay. One of the questions that I know most people are thinking about is, you try to avoid wasting your doctor's time, if you would. You just think it's the cold. Does the cough feel more severe than your normal cough, or does it just feel like a normal bout of the cold, of coughing, if you would?
Well, any cough,
okay,
any cough, no matter how trivial it looks like, if it lasts more than 3 weeks, of course most will not be cancer, but it could be.
It could be.
And there's no way you will know unless you get checked out. And like I said, not just cough, breathlessness also, especially if you're becoming breathless for things which you normally do without effort. Take, for example, maybe before you climb stairs without effort, without getting breathless, you walk in the garden like mowing, like vacuuming in the house, and all of a sudden it's becoming an effort to do all those, then it's always good to get checked out, because that could be an early warning symptom of lung disease, which could be cancer, or it could be early symptoms of heart disease.
Wow. Yeah, it's very scary. But it's good to know that the help is there by taking the options of doing that. Are there any other symptoms we can look out for that could lead to those illnesses?
Oh, yes. For example, if you're having, like we said, if you're having recurrent chest infection, even if your doctor doesn't think of it, you must remind your doctor that, why am I getting this very recurrent? I have chest infection 2 months ago, I have another now, and it's going on and on like that. Yeah, it's good to think of it. Wheezing, if you suddenly start wheezing, you're making a sort of your breathing is suddenly becoming a noise. That's what we call wheezing. If you have like weight loss, which is not intended, weight loss you're not going to gym, you're not on diet, and you're suddenly losing weight, then you have to think of it. If you have chest pain or shoulder pain, you have to think of it. You're not going to get wrong by getting checked. Sudden chest pain, shoulder pain that is niggling, then you have to think of. If you have night sweat, maybe you are sweating at night, then you have to think about this. Or if you are getting unusually tired, suddenly you are becoming tired, and doing things is becoming an effort due to tiredness, then you need to think of it. And even if you suddenly becoming anorexic, that is, you are losing appetite.
Okay.
You are losing appetite. You're not going to lose anything to get checked if you have any of this. Yeah. So if I go over it again, any persistent cough, any recurrent infection, unusual weight loss, shoulder pain, chest pain, tiredness, wheezing, all these things are pointers to that may point to cancer of the lung. They may also actually point to, some of it may point to chronic lung disease.
Wow, that's very important. One of the things I would say is, where I know smoking is one of the key elements that are linked to lung cancer, is there anything else we can avoid taking, or stuff we could do to avoid lung cancer, potentially?
Yeah, okay. I'm happy you mentioned smoking, because we do know that the most important risk for developing lung cancer is smoking. But having said that, people can still get lung cancer without smoking, without ever smoking in their life. So even though this campaign is actually aimed at anybody who developed any of those symptoms. But if you are a smoker, even more so. And smoking is not just a risk factor for lung cancer, it's a risk factor for other serious lung diseases. And it's also a risk factor to developing heart disease. So even the campaign is aimed at everybody, whether you are a smoker or not, but even more so if you are a smoker. So definitely all those symptoms, if you have it, you must, we're saying, don't say, I don't want to trouble my doctor. I would rather you trouble your doctor, because there is this age-long adage that it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
You're not going to lose anything by getting checked out, because we do know, especially in people of Afro-Caribbean origin and Asian, that one of the problems is late presentation. And many of these diseases, the outcome is determined by how early they are discovered or diagnosed. So the reasons why Public Health England is doing this is to save life, is for people who, for one reason or the other, unfortunately develop any of these things, to be picked up early, treated early, and increase their chance of survival. Which, because we know, one of the key, in fact, one of the main keys of deciding the outcome is how early people present and how early they are diagnosed and treated. And nowadays, treatments are getting better.
Fantastic.
They are getting better, and to the extent that now we think with some of the cancers are being treated as chronic diseases. That is a disease that stays with you for a long time. So it's not a death sentence as it used to be, but people can help themselves in not making it a death sentence by presenting early.
Very important.
Yeah.
If we notice it in family or friends, what should we do in that situation?
And I'm happy you mentioned that. And if you should insist or nag that family member or friend, make sure you convince them to go to their doctor. And that's why one of the things we say to children is that even if your parents, if you notice your parent is having any of these symptoms, encourage them to go and see their doctors. And if you notice your husband or your wife or your friend is having any of these symptoms, that is persistent cough, especially lasting more than 3 weeks, weight loss, breathlessness, unusual breathlessness, shoulder pain, chest pain, wheezing, unusual tiredness, they should seek help and go to their GP.
That's very interesting. So please do pay attention to that. Timing is such a key factor.
It is a key factor. It is a key factor. And you find out some of the reasons why people don't go, especially people of Afro-Caribbean origin. There are variety of reasons. Many of them are cultural. Many of them are, I don't want to waste my GP's time. I would rather you waste your doctor's time. Some of them, I would try herbal medicine. Herbal medicine won't do anything. And I've seen it. I'm not just saying it. People waiting until it's too late, trying things that will not work. Many of them religious reasons. I'm a Christian, a born-again Christian, and I always tell people that everything God created is good. That's what the Bible says.
Indeed.
And if God creates it, He said we should take dominion over them. Part of what people you have will take dominion over is knowledge. And if God provides the knowledge and you don't avail yourself of that knowledge, that is suicide. You can't blame God. And I always tell people, God will not invest in people like me to acquire the knowledge for nothing.
Very true.
And if God makes the knowledge available, if God makes the facilities available, avail yourself of it, and it will definitely, you'll be glad you do. And I always tell people, God will heal you in His own way, in His own choosing. God may heal you by making sure you go to doctor on time, will open the eyes of your doctor to see what he should say, to make sure the doctor prescribe the right medication and the right treatment for you. All those are acts of God. So pray when you're going to a doctor that God should open the eyes of the doctor. So that should not be a reason why people should go to their doctors.
Most definitely. I totally agree. This is it. The power has been invested into people like yourself, and it creates the power to heal. So that's very good to know. That's very strong to know. What is the message that you'd like to drive home to all of our viewers regarding this campaign?
Yeah, the main message, the key message in this is, if you have cough that is lasting more than 3 minutes, I mean 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Whether you are a smoker or not, go and see your GP. if you're getting unusually breathless, that is, things you used to do without effort is becoming an effort due to breathlessness, like climbing stairs, mowing garden, vacuuming, or walking at home, or walking a short distance. If it's becoming an effort, it could be a sign of lung disease, which could be cancer. It could be a sign of heart disease. Go to your GP. If you have symptoms like unusual weight loss that is not intended, like going to gym or dieting, if you're having wheezing that is unusual, if you're having tiredness that is unusual, even if you have shoulder pain, chest pain, go to your GP, especially if you are a smoker. But even if you are a non-smoker,
you're still,
it is still there. If you notice it in your friends, your relatives, please encourage them to go for it. And the key message is that it is better to be safe than sorry. And early diagnosis, that is, if you present early, that could make a difference on whether you are cured, that is, whether you live or die. And nobody likes to give their family unnecessary grief. So for your own sake and for your family's sake, the key message is you are not wasting your doctor's time. Present early, and you'll be glad you do.
That most definitely. Please follow Dr. Phillip Abiola's message. Check your diagnosis. Please, anything that you feel is wrong, go and get a diagnosis. Be sure to get it checked out. It could save your life, a family member's life, a friend's life. This is very important. Just wanted to touch slightly again. You mentioned the shoulder pain and chest pain.
Yeah.
Is it a shooting pain? Is it a chronic pain? What kind of pain is it they should look out for in this situation?
It does not matter if you have shoulder pain, because I'll tell you, and I've seen this, I've seen it, I'm not just saying, we know it, I have seen it on people who have got lung cancer, and all they had was shoulder pain. And the reason is that it could be a symptom that the cancer has spread into the bone, which is quite common, which is not unusual. And people used to say, oh, once it spreads, there's nothing that could be done. Gone are those days. In fact, I know this patient lived for many years after. So, shoulder pain, even hip pain can be. And especially if you are a smoker, it is quite vital to remind your GP that could this be cancer of the lung? Could it be cancer of the lung? So, like all this variety of symptoms, and I'm never tired of repeating them. Breathlessness, unusual, persistent cough, especially after 3 weeks, the cough is not going away. You're having recurrent infections, you're having unusual weight loss, you're having night sweat, you're having wheezing, and you are unusually tired. Please and please, you're not going to lose anything. You're not wasting your doctor, and especially people of Afro-Caribbean origin who from antecedents are getting poorer outcomes because of late presentation. And this message needs to go to them, needs to go to our communities, that don't wait. Don't, if you see your husband having any of these symptoms, push him or her to go to the doctor. If you see your wife have any of these symptoms, push her. If you see your parents or your brother or your friend having any of these symptoms, encourage them to say, because early presentation, early diagnosis can make a difference in whether they are cured or their life prolonged or not.
Wow, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Dr. Phillip, thank you. If anyone wants more information, where can they go to get more information?
All they need to do, if they just Google "be clear on cancer," and everything will come out. And I will encourage community leaders or wherever they meet, they should encourage everybody to Google "be clear on cancer," and every message will be there.
Dr. Phillip, thank you very much, sir.
It's my great pleasure.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I do hope everyone has taken that in, even if it's not for yourself, for your friends, family, children. As Dr. Phillip said, it could be anyone. If you spot the symptoms, do pass the message on. Just search Be Clear. You are not wasting you've heard it from a doctor. You are not wasting their time. Please do, you're saving a life, whether it's yours or someone else's. So please be clear on cancer. Let's save lives. Dr. Phillip, once again, sir, thank you very much.
Great pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, we're off to a break, and we'll catch you after then. Bye.
The diagnosis was a complete shock to me and my family.
You hear the word heart failure, you immediately associate it with heart attack, like you're going to die. I was very worried. I was frightened. I was upset because I thought I was healthy.
I had pains in my chest and I was feeling weak. I knew something was wrong and I had a cough that wouldn't go away.
Persistent cough or getting out of breath doing things that you were able to do would require further investigations.
I started getting breathless. I made a lot of excuses. It's okay. I'm a little fat, I'm a little heavy, maybe that's why I'm getting older.
If you spot the symptoms in yourselves or your family members, please contact your GP immediately.
Just because you have a condition doesn't mean your life is come to an end.
I was diagnosed with lung cancer, age 77. I'm now 85 years old, living proof that you can survive cancer.
Well, I'm going to continue looking after myself. And I'm going to continue doing all the things that I wanted to do. I will get to the point when I can play with my children on the floor. It'll take time, but it will come.
Finding conditions early, such as lung disease, including cancer, and heart disease, makes them more treatable. So, if you spot the symptoms in yourselves or your family members, please contact your GP immediately. Don't ignore it.